The Memorial Day flood in Wimberley certainly showed us tragedy, but in that tragedy, there's a story of survival that has not one but two happy endings.
Fox 7's Casey Claiborne joining us in the studio with that story. Casey.
Mike, it's been nearly 2 months now since the Blanco River rose to a 44-foot surge, destroying homes and taking lives. Matt and Anna Balthazar were there, staying at a home right on the river, and Anna was 8 months pregnant. Born on the 4th of July, when baby James came into the world, his parents, Matt and Anna Balthazar from Austin, couldn't help but think back to the last holiday a month prior, Memorial Day weekend, when they had to fight for their lives against floodwaters that did this to the house they were staying in.
We went out there almost every weekend.
The Balthazars were staying at Matt's parents' retirement home on the Blanco River in Wimberley when the rain started to fall.
It's impossible for the river to touch our house. I thought back to the Halloween floods 2 years ago, and I think the river got up to 33 feet, and it was still a good 20 yards from hitting our house.
In the middle of the night, Anna woke up to a chilling sound.
No, it really sounds like water. It sounds like waves. And he got up and looked out the window, and I'll never forget, he turned around and looked at me and said, "Go get in the car right now."
Water poured into the house. Anna dialed 911.
And they told us to get on the roof and that it would be 2 to 3 hours before anybody could come help us. And I did not want to get on the roof. That sounded terrifying.
So they tried to drive away, but quickly found out flooded low water crossings were trapping them in the neighborhood. After helping some of their neighbors escape their cars caught in floodwater, they made the decision to leave the area on foot. Barefoot, actually.
The river's not going to be what kills us tonight. We're not going to drown. So we're going to get as far away from the river as possible.
With 3 of their neighbors, Matt and Anna say they walked through the woods in the rain and the dark, carrying their dog, using utility poles as their guide. And Anna needed to stay calm so she wouldn't go into labor.
It was hard. It hurt our feet.
The horrific noise of the raging river followed them.
It was unimaginably loud with the cracking of all the trees and the utility poles and just the sound of the water. We knew it was coming closer and closer.
It's a creepy sound that I will never forget, of just trees being ripped out of the ground.
The Balthazars made this map showing their journey. Several hours and several miles later, they knocked on the door of the first house they saw.
We showed up on their doorstep at 4 in the morning, soaking wet, covered in mud, and tried quickly to explain what had happened and asked if we could come in, and they said absolutely. They gave us dry clothes, water, showers.
A month later, Anna finally did go into labor.
It's been a wild ride so far, but we're glad to have him. We're glad he's here, and glad that he wasn't born on Memorial Day.
When the Balthazars returned to Wimberley the next day, they found their family home with 7 feet of water damage. They're working on repairing it now. When I asked Matt what goes on in the back of his mind when he tells this story, he says it's hard to put himself in those shoes again because it was so surreal, almost like a movie. He says he and his wife were just on autopilot that night.